let's move into the final part of our town hall. I knew this would be a full conversation, and our conversation's largely been about what people get excited about and what the attitudes are, what they care about, what motivates them. Take a look at this short clip from a famous speech by one of my personal heroes, President John F. Kennedy.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
Every time I hear that speech, it really is exciting to me. I remember as a kid listening to that, and some people said 10 years was impossible, but 8 years and 2 months after that speech, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. And as they did so, there was a great cheer that went up in Houston, Texas at NASA's Mission Control. And the average age of the systems engineers at Mission Control that day was 26, which means their average age when they heard that challenge issued was 18. So what excites kids in school now? Let me read you a quick quote from New York Times columnist and author Tom Friedman, and then have a little discussion about this. He wrote, in China, Bill Gates is Britney Spears. In America, Britney Spears is Britney Spears. Now, he's using Britney Spears as kind of a symbol of a cultural issue, but he says that's our problem. So let's talk about that a little bit. I want to throw a question to Emma in Austin, Texas. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let me shift gears. We're going to Caitlin in Idaho. Caitlin, what is the attitude about these things? Please join the conversation.
Okay, like, you mean like, okay, so, yeah, in our school, famous people are like everybody's idols, and yeah, so yeah, Britney Spears is I guess popular in our school, and instead of like Bill Gates, they're not talking about Bill Gates, they're talking about Britney Spears.
And you see much more about characters like that in the news and on television all the time. Let me go to Tim, who is a 9th grader in Australia. And let me ask you, Tim, what do you think it is that contributes to kids putting more emphasis and value on pop stars or sports stars than they do on success in academics? What leads to that? And is there something that the adults in your life could be doing differently?
We have two different awards. One of them is the Sportsman of the Week award, and one of them is the Writer of the Week. Each given out weekly. Sportsman of the Week gets a shiny little medallion and gets sent up on assembly and clapped, while the Writer of the Week just gets given a certificate, and maybe if they're lucky, get to go up on assembly. We also have our sports award days. We have 2 of those a year. Those just, whoever can swim fast, run fast, or whatever will get an award, while for academic achievement, we only have our speech day at the end of the year. And even that is shared with the sports awards. It just, there's a lot of emphasis placed on sports for.
I can't hear him. Okay, I lost the connection to Australia. I assume that you guys at home did as well. But thank you. That was a very thoughtful comment. Let's circle back to Melissa in Irvine. And let's talk about this multitasking issue. A lot of kids are texting and on Facebook and doing all this other stuff at the same time they're doing homework. Do you think that's an issue here?
Actually, for me, I've grown so dependent on MSN and AIM that I now have to have like Facebook or some other chatting module open so I can do homework and chat with my friends. Otherwise, I can't focus on my homework and I'll end up lost in the realms of YouTube. So what I do is I do this like reward system. I'll do a math problem and then I'll chat with my friend, or I'll read a page in my history book and then I'll chat with my friend. And that way I can talk and also do my homework.
Wow, that's really different from when I was a kid. That sounds like it's pretty challenging. Do you think it interferes with your schoolwork? It sounds like it would, but maybe you figured out a way to do it all. Do you think it has an effect on your schoolwork? I think we lost
Hey, so
Melissa. Let's go back to Kudo Sonoda. I see you on the screen here,
yeah,
Kudo. How do you deal with this issue of? Do you think the multitasking is affecting the way kids do their schoolwork now?
I mean, I think it's an interesting concept, not just hearing the person who's talking about the multitasking, but also the girl in China kind of talking about, you know, Americans being known more for, you know, play or more for creation. And, you know, I do think that it's a, you know, like all the great competition around, you know, academics certainly, you know, fits a good segment of people. And I think like those are, you know, awesome kind of programs to help inspire, you know, people's enthusiasm in learning. But I do think also whether it's the multitasking or whether it's, you know, people's general sense of play and things that they enjoy, that there are some people that, you know, more like the freedom of play versus competition, or the freedom to be able to multitask as they're learning. And I do think it's just an important part of, as we try and make, you know, education or science or math interesting for people that, you know, aren't inherently interested or aren't born with just that excitement around you know, these types of, you know, or, you know, these areas of learning, that we try and figure out ways in the educational system to tie those things more to, you know, a spirit of play and a spirit of creation that I do think is important for getting jobs in the future. You know, I know it was interesting in watching the video set up at the beginning of this, and just how much, you know, I think now jobs are away from the, you know, repetition of a manufacturing line, and the importance of using science and math and technology in combination with creativity and play to be developing like new industries and, you know, getting, you know, jobs in different unique sectors. And I do think that's just a more interesting way of looking at things, as well as how in the education system we can tie things that kids already like to do, whether it's multitasking or playing, into things that will get them excited about learning science and math and other kind of technology areas.
Great comment. Thank you so much, Kudo. Let's go to Eryn in California. What do you think about this issue of competition from other countries, and how that connects to the way young people today prepare for the kinds of jobs that are going to be important to make the U.S. competitive in the future?
I don't think kids really know how much all these like cool gadgets, like all the like the technology that goes into them, the people that are behind all these things. Like I myself, with like iPods and Xboxes and all these cool gadgets, I'll go to the Apple store and I'll see all these people and they know about these computers. And just we don't stop and think about all the time and effort and these brains that went into them. So I think no one really knows, and we should really start to appreciate that.
Well, I think you made that connection as well as anybody in this whole hour-long town hall meeting. So thank you very much. We are out of time, and I have just a couple of closing comments. First of all, I want to express deep thanks to Time Warner Cable and Glenn Britt. This initiative has been really important. I want to express my thanks to my colleagues here at Current TV for hosting my part of this event and for all that they do. I want to again thank Secretary Duncan and all of the adults who joined in this conversation. It's been a great conversation. I particularly want to thank the young people all around the country and the world for joining in this conversation. And thanks to all of you out there who are trying to make a difference on these issues every single day. The simple fact is that our future is at stake. America's ability to continue leading the world economically, intellectually, culturally, ability to solve environmental problems, create jobs, innovate, all of that depends on us turning this situation around with math and science education. So we need to help spark the interest of young people in math and science and give them the opportunities to excel in these subjects, have the teachers and coursework available, encourage the determination and hard work that they're going to need to succeed and prepare themselves for the opportunities of their own futures. Now, I know that in many of the Time Warner cable markets across the country, there are groups of citizens gathered to continue this discussion offline and to talk about local solutions to this national and global challenge. I look forward to hearing the results of those discussions you're about to have, and I hope that people everywhere will find a way to continue the conversation that we started here today, because all of us have a part to play in this effort. So in conclusion, again, to Time Warner Cable and everybody who made this possible, thank you very much.